The first game on this list is Tribes of Midgard. Now, I recently just picked this game up yesterday, actually, and I have been playing it, and I've been looking forward to it for a while. So I'm glad I picked it up and I've started playing it because it's so far it's a lot of fun. Um, Easiest way I could describe it is it's kind of like a soft core, don't starve kind of game. It's kind of like softcore survival mixed with dungeon crawling and resource gathering, a little bit of building in there. There's a lot you can do in this game, so it's really hard to describe it with just like a single catchphrase or genre label. It doesn't really do it justice trying to label this game because it is a lot of things. So, real quick synopsis on what this game's about. You start the game and you have a little baby world tree in the middle of your village that you have to protect. And every night, these dark creatures come to destroy the world tree. And your goal is to protect that tree at all costs. Now, you do that by exploring and getting resources to build up your village. You can build gates and archer towers, and by collecting resources to build yourself better gear. So you can cut down trees, you can mine stone, and then you can turn that wood and stone into weapons. And then as you do everything and anything, and as you survive more nights, you level up, which gives you more skills, and you use all those in tandem to protect your village for as long as you can. And every so often, a Jotun, is going to show up, and he's going to basically beeline it to your tree. Thankfully, they spawn far away, and they move slowly. But they're going to go straight to your tree and try to destroy it. So you need to intercept those Jotun and destroy them before they can get to your village. It's not immediate game over if the Jotun gets to your village. They actually have to destroy the tree first. So if you get him down to like a sliver of health and then he gets to your tree, you usually can take him out before he can destroy the tree and the village. But yeah, really interesting game, a lot of fun. I like the depth of everything so far. It's really recent, so I'm excited to see where they're going to go with all the different skills and if they'll add more weapons and weapon classes and armor classes and stuff into the game. But so far, it's been a lot of fun diving into the game, figuring out kind of what the gameplay loop is and how to survive each night. But this is a game that shows a lot of promise, and I'm looking forward to playing it beyond just right now. There's a lot I still don't know about the game. Like, I found a cave the other day. I don't know where that cave led. It made it sound like there would be maybe a shortcut to the other side of the map. I'm really excited to see where that might go. It's just one of those kind of survival games where you explore the map. It's all procedurally generated, and there's also building. I like the crafting because there's a lot of like hard to reach places that after you get some resources you can build some ramps, get up to some locations that are harder to reach and just make shortcuts, whereas before you're kind of subject to the environment. But then you make the environment yours, you build some ramps, you get up to the mountain. It's just really cool. So far I'm loving the early game gameplay loop, so I'm looking forward to really sinking my teeth into this game for a long while. The second game on this list is Risk of Rain 2, and Risk of Rain 2 holds a special place in my heart because it is such a ridiculously difficult, fun, punishing, yet rewarding game. It's hard to explain Risk of Rain 2 besides third-person action roguelite, and it's got all the great things that come with roguelites, the replayability, and it's got all the crushing realities of the roguelike, which is, once you're out, you're out. There's no redos. If you and your team get wiped out, you got to start from the beginning. And even when you win, it's just you hit the reset button and you do it again. But Risk of Rain just is it's one of the few roguelikes that I've still come back to years down the road. It's such a fun game. Maybe it's the characters, maybe it's just the item compositions, maybe it's the artifacts. Really, artifacts add a ton of replayability to the game because you not only have a lot of control of how the run can go and how certain aspects are controlled, like command. I feel for me, I've played this game so much that not playing with command just is difficult, mostly because I've beaten this game so many times in the past before artifacts even existed. So now that artifacts are like I've played and beaten the game so many times before artifacts, I feel like it's just kind of a must-have to have artifacts now because it's a new gameplay feature that just makes the game feel fresh and exciting every time I play it again. And I'm really looking forward to the DLC that's coming up later this year, if it's still on track, just because that's going to add more replayability to an already crazy replayable game that I can spend hours on in a single run just to let it all end at the very finale when I beat the final boss or obliterate or just mess up my run. But it really is a gem of a game that I really enjoy. You can get so incredibly powerful. You start off the game every time so incredibly fragile, and yeah, it's super fun. Not much more to say. If you haven't played Risk of Rain 2, highly recommend you try it out. But be prepared. If you're not a big fan of roguelites, then maybe give this one a pass. But if you're looking for a good roguelite, this is definitely one of the top games out there. There's 11 characters to play as. Each one has multiple variations. You can change up their abilities and their attacks. Like Multi, for example, has like 4 different primary attacks he can switch between. He's got a minigun, a railgun, a grenade launcher, and a melee saw. Each one plays very differently. There's dozens and dozens of items. If you play with artifacts, there's lots of artifacts. Like this is a roguelike that I can keep coming back to just because there's so many things that I have control over that I can change. But then there's also lots of things in there that if I don't want to have control, I can totally activate some artifacts that makes the control completely fall out of my hands. It's just really great game. Highly recommend it. And just having a blast with it. Still loving Risk of Rain 2.
Alright, go ahead and open it up. I'm almost there. Just realized I don't have equipment. Why don't I have equipment?
Ooh, they even have a... Oh, no, they have some... that's not good. Don't go over there.
Chivalry 2 is the third game on my list of games I've been playing recently. I haven't been playing this one too much recently, but I have been jumping in a few chance I get to get back into the medieval warfare. You know, I like games like this. I like other games like this, like For Honor and just any game that lets you go back in medieval times and play from a first-person perspective. I like how it's not too, over the top. I really like the more grounded realism of it, You have blocks, you have attacks, you don't have anything fancy like backflips or fireballs or anything like that. You have your sword, you have your shield. And, and sometimes your opponent has just that. Sometimes they have more than that. And it's just a fun game. I like little games like this. It's kind of my stand-in for Honor right now. Yeah, I go back and play For Honor every now and then, but I've definitely been playing Chivalry 2 a little bit more than I have been playing For Honor. Just there's a lot of classes in it, a lot of weapons. A lot of customization, everything's pretty much grounded. You can get some fancy gold styled weapons and stuff, but nothing too crazy over the top. Like this would be in a display case or on a statue, not on a battlefield. But still, it has its unique charm, and I enjoy it. The combat is easy to pick up, but tricky to master. It's got quite a bit of chaos sprinkled into it as well. I think the best way to explain it is you got to be aware of your surroundings. little bit of weapon knowledge helps, knowing what your opponent is using and what your weapon can do. What good matchups are and what aren't good matchups when it comes to weapons and playstyles and stuff. As well as just knowing how not to get ganked by the enemy team running into their spawn, and all that is usually a recipe for disaster. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I like it a lot, and yeah, it's one I've been enjoying playing recently. Oh, that was cool. I'm gonna have to save that. Fourth game on my list, Genshin Impact. Now this is a game that, now I'm not really a big anime person. I don't really like animes. I don't really watch a lot of animes, and I'm not big on the anime aesthetic. You know, I like Chivalry too. I like my more, you know, ironclad knights and nitty-gritty realism. But this game, this has been a really fun game that I've been playing recently, and mostly the reason is just the amount of control you have over your activities you do when you play it. Like, it's kind of the issue I've been having with open world games recently. Not like an issue I have with them, but when I go to play an open world game, usually there's so much stuff that's like in my way, that's blocking me from like playing the game how I want, or keeping me from like enjoying the game fully, you know, like whether it be tutorials or mission locks, you know, things like that. But Genshin's an interesting approach to that, because it allows you to pretty much go in and play how you want to play each day. You know, like if you want to spend the day just farming bosses, you know, taking out bosses, you can do that. You can teleport straight to the boss. You don't have to get through a dungeon. You just go straight to the boss. You can fight him. You can fight him 3 times if you want. Beat him, and then, you know, teleport away, teleport back, beat him again. You know, you can do a boss run and beat every single boss in the game. You can avoid bosses if you want and just go do dungeons, or they're called domains. They're called domains in this game. You know, they have lots of events that happen every so often, and they're always adding new characters, and it's a neat little game I enjoy quite a bit. So yeah, I've been playing Genshin a lot, and the big thing too is they just released an expansion adding a new area loosely based on Japan, which is called Intezuma in the game, which I think stands for lightning or thunder. And that's come with a lot of new quests, a whole new region to explore, a lot of new materials and bosses to fight, and yeah, it's just a whole lot of fun. Like it takes the simple and elegant things about open world games and makes it just very accessible, and not in like a, oh, it's super easy, it's a super easy game kind of way, but accessible in the fact that there's not a whole lot blocking you or keeping you from just getting in to play the game. You know, if you want to jump in and play this game for 5 hours and find stuff to do, you can do that. If you just want to jump in for like 15 minutes, you know, and walk away feeling accomplished, you can do that. And that's really the reason I keep coming back to this game. Just the different ways I can approach this game. If I want to sit down on a weekend and just play Genshin, I can do that. If I just want to hop in and, you know, do a couple quests and then hop out, that's totally cool too. And the 5th and final game of today's episode of games I've been playing recently is Fallout 76. Gotta love this game. I like how there's a healthy blend of new and old games on this list. I'm not too completely wrapped up in games that came out in 2010, you know, or older. But Fallout 76 is a pretty old game, and yeah, it's fun for me right now. I've been having fun with it. I might make a video just dedicated to that, about how I've been having fun with Fallout 76 and how you could be too. But generally, Fallout 76 is an interesting game. You really got to pace yourself when you go to play it, because it's an MMO. It's a big MMO. Like I'm talking like you can spend way too much time on this game just doing everything, whether it be, you know, min-maxing your build, or gathering resources, or hitting every single event that happens, trying to get all the gear. Like you can just be grinding on this game for days, right? So it's definitely a game you got to approach with a lot of restraint, you know. Like I gotta go in this game going like, all right, I'm only gonna do my daily awards, or my daily challenges, and maybe some base building, you know. Maybe I'll customize my base a little bit, or maybe I'll customize my base tomorrow and I'll just do my daily missions today, because it is a game that has, you know, a lot to it, you know. And it's a fun game if you figure out how to have fun with it. I personally really enjoy the gameplay loop of completing events, getting items, grinding those items, or grinding those legendary items you get, grinding the legendary items to script, then building your own legendary weapons, trying to roll for something good. You know, some days you don't get anything good, some days you get something great, you know. Sometimes you roll an item, you just immediately grind it again, grind it into script. Sometimes you get a weapon and you're like, wow, okay, that's going on my weapon wheel. You know, I'm gonna be using that, and then you use that gun for the next so often until you get another replacement, and that's always fun to me. I like games that allow me to kind of pace myself as I build my character to what I think is fun to play as. But also the base building. I really like the base building. The base building's fun. I like how they keep adding more and more items that have use to it. You know, you got different things like stat boosting items. You have shops and stuff that you can sell your stuff that you're not using, that you're like, wow, this gun's good, I just don't want to use it. You can sell it to other players by sticking a vendor in your camp. And I think I like the little niche things that Fallout 76 does. It's still far from perfect, but it's really fun to me right now. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I've been playing it quite often. Honestly, though, the real reason I've been playing it, though, is because I want that Alistar skin at the end. You know, you already know I like knights. You already know I like the medieval combat and stuff. I'm grinding away for that Alistar skin at the end. I want that sword. I want that futuristic Neo Knight armor. That's all I'm saying. You know, if I get the Dolphin power armor, that's good too. But the real reason is I just want to be Alistar. Yeah. Well, folks, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I plan on doing more videos like this in the future, and videos completely different from this. So please stick around if you'd like to see more of this. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and a very peaceful night. See you next time.